I recently embarked on a humanitarian outreach initiative aimed at public schools to create awareness about the importance of establishing food banks. Many children in public schools come from low income backgrounds, and unfortunately, some abstain from attending school due to hunger. It is imperative that no child goes to school hungry. During my visit to various schools, I encountered several pressing challenges impacting the education system, including teacher shortages and overcrowded classrooms. In light of these issues, I invited Ms. Alkewo Adewale Nojim, the Assistant Director of Education, to join me on my podcast, My Community Call to Action. Together, we discussed the critical topic of equity in our educational system. My co-host for this episode was Fumi Alabi. I'd like to extend my special thanks to Agnes Premium Water and Mr. Raji for their generous support in this endeavor. So, just diving into our subject for today, let's first of all define what we mean by what do I mean by equity. I'm talking about fairness and justice. Fairness and justice in education, whether or not it's public or privately owned schools. Mr. Okay, well, I want you to tell me something about these teacher shortages. What do you think can be the solution, or what's the problem here? What's the state of things with schools and teacher shortages?
Thank you so much, Barrister Udonsi, for this opportunity. I am pleased to be here. Let me start from there. I'm very pleased to be here and to be attending to a critical issue that affects all of us. Whether we like it or not, whichever sector you belong or you work in, education is the bedrock of the development of the nation. And as a result of that, we must all be concerned of what happens in that sector. Because you talk about the workforce, the technical know-how needed in construction, in production, any of the sectors you mentioned, education provides all of this. And that is why equity in education should be a source of concern for every one of us. It should be a source of concern. Teachers shortage or shortages, as you mentioned, is not just the only issues bedeviling the educational sector. I'm an assistant director in the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education in Lagos State, and I can tell you for free, if you put Lagos State side by side with other states, you will see that Lagos State, you can't even classify it as a state in Nigeria. You say it's a state in somewhere in US or UK because there are millions of miles ahead of other states. I don't just operate in Lagos. I also relate with my colleagues with other schools in Ogun State, in Osun State, and I know we're far. In fact, from teachers' remuneration, provision of resources in schools, recruitment of teachers and other personnel serving the educational sector, Lagos State is far ahead. But that is not to say there is no room for improvement. There is room for improvement, but constantly, I can say, in fact, constantly every year, there will be the recruitment portal of Teaching Service Commission will be open more than 4 times. That is to tell you that the shortages are being addressed constantly. Teachers are being recruited and posted to schools. But the problem is that government alone cannot do this job. And that is why I salute your vision, coming around to see for yourself, firsthand, having those information is to tell you that government alone cannot solve all the problems. Government alone cannot provide or ensure equity in education for all. So for me, There's need for partnership. There's need for community engagement. There is need for organizational involvement, established organization to begin to see that the workforce we are using, the workforce that are assisting us to achieve our objectives in the larger society now are being churned out by this educational sector. So if we now sit in the comfort of our offices, we sit in the comfort of our homes and condemn this sector, what is our own contribution to it? You see, governments already provided certain platforms for people to participate. And I'm sure Barrister Dunsi, having gone through that process, we bear me witness that nobody is denied access to participation or to partnership, but it must be done in the right perspective. We must put it in the right perspective so that we can ensure that there is synergy between the intending partner and the existing structure on ground. Participation will have to be streamlined. And what kind of services or products are you bringing forward in order to assist government in delivering educational products to the learners? So all of these will have to be examined before that clearance will be given. But if you have genuine product, you have genuine motive to assist the system, the government is ready and they have open hand to receive you.
What sort of collaboration do you want? How do you want the community to get involved in helping out with more teachers coming on board?
For teachers, what I can say that the community should do is that, like in my own school now, we have some that are on the payroll of the Parent Forum Association that we call them PEF teachers. Okay. The Parent Forum came together and they liaise with us constantly. Okay. They deliberate with us and we tell them areas of shortages that we are still experiencing. We are expecting governments to fill for us, but we have not gotten feedback from them yet. And they go out to employ. They employ for us. They will be on government, be on a PF payroll until we are able to secure employment with the government. Okay. So we have had that in the past. We have also had philanthropists who will come around and say, okay, I want to assist. I'm particularly interested in economics, for instance, and I want a teacher to be employed to teach the students economics, just to assist them on economics. Or it could be in a subject where we don't have enough teachers. Maybe in mathematics now, we're supposed to have 3 and we have only 2. Then after discussing with us, I'll say, okay, I will employ one mathematics teacher for you and it will be on my payroll. We've had people like that. So these are areas where you don't even need to go to Alausa or go to TESCOM for that. Meeting the accounting officer of that school, you can resolve all of this. It is when it has to do with things that are edible or an educational resource that you have to constantly impact on the student. They will now want to evaluate the impact of it. Then how many schools are you taking the student out? Will the administration of your product be within the school? Because all of these were under the confines of the law. If you are taking somebody's child to another destination, then the parents need to know. And that is why the government and the school wants to be on the same page with whoever is bringing any products to the school. And we can also inform the parents that your words will be involved in this part. If they are interested, they release their words. If they are not interested, they say, no, I don't want my child to be part of this. I'm saying, okay, we respect their opinion too. So that's why we are saying you can partner. It is, in fact, open to all, especially corporate organizations. The number of transfer students into Lagos schools now is alarming. is alarming. Even though there is an increase in the application fee, that does not deter them from coming in and seeking application into Lagos schools. In fact, when you complain to the government, you say, okay, what do you want to do? You want to send them out of school? The cost of not keeping them in school is higher than the cost of continuing to manage our situation. Because if they are not educated, what you are saying is that they should be on the street. So having an overcrowded class is better than having them on the street. So we can continue to advocate to people, to non-governmental organizations to come to our aid to assist, while the government is expanding this infrastructure. We also appeal to non-governmental organizations, highly spirited individuals, to assist the government in delivering these educational products to the people.
What are the measures you've put in place to screen these teachers, number one? And then number two, how do you encourage these teachers to even stay in the first place?
Government, especially Lagos State government, they do not joke with the quality of personnel in the schools. They do not joke with it. There is a structure in place, monitor. I just mentioned the OEQA, Office of Education Quality Assurance. Quality assurance, that office is to monitor the quality of educational product delivery in Lagos State. And they go as far as checking what you are teaching the students. Sometimes they go into the schools, meet with the students, ask them, check their notes. What have you taught, even without the teacher? And get very important facts and figures from those students. Then they will now engage the school management. This is what we have found out on our own. Do you have this too? If they do, what have you done on this? How have you been able to resolve this? That is to ensure quality delivery of educational products to learners. But some teachers find it difficult. They cannot survive in such an environment.
To be honest, it's so good to see you. I mean, after 20-something years, you still sound like this about the whole system. Yes. That means there's something good in there for someone out there. In my visit, I kind of started seeing why people would refuse to take their children to public schools. And I don't know. I want to understand, with everything you said about public schools and, the quality of, I mean, it's revealing to even think that these teachers go through. I didn't know it was.
In fact, it's that rigorous.
To be honest, I didn't know it was that rigorous, to be honest. So if public schools are disorganized, why are people not really taking their children, average families now, taking their children to public schools?
You see, let me start, Mr. Barry, let me start by telling you that the situation has changed. Okay. And you know what changed it? The economic situation. People are now moving their kids from private schools to public schools. Yes. That is the trend now. If you are not, I'm in the system and I know. Even now, I know the number of people that have called me, how can you assist me to get transfer? The school fees is biting, I cannot cope again. So many of them are on our neck. They want us to assist them to get their kids back to public schools, while they can no longer cope. That is one. Secondly, this ego, class and status.
Yes.
That is the problem of so many of us. Especially those who cannot even afford to maintain the status they claim to have. I used to tell my friends, I said, those of us that went through public schools are the one saying negative things about public schools now and not encouraging our own words to go to public school. I went to a public school, secondary school in Ogun State. In fact, a community without electricity. A community that teachers we posted, and within 3 months, they found their way back to the city centers. That is where I went to. And this is me today. And I have professors in my class. I have those who have gotten their PhD, academic PhD, not honorary, from that same school. So why are we not encouraging our own to go through the same system that we went through? Ego and status. And many of us are far from the reality. We have not even gone. We have not gone to these public schools to go and see for ourselves. We only live on the information we are fed with. That is one. Secondly, they said my wells should fetch water. They said it should do this, it should do that. I don't want my children to go through that. And I suffered, and I don't want. Can we say they are better for it? We're not advocating capital punishment. And in schools now, in fact, Lagos State government gave teachers a form to fill and sign that they're never going to hold cane, not talk of flogging. So government is on top of everything. If that is their fear, government is on top of everything. And you see now, we don't, instead of punishing students, we invite their parents, we engage their parents. This is what we have noticed. Have you noticed the same? Now, how do we collectively solve this problem? That is what we do in public secondary school now. Any teacher that is doing anything contrary to what I've said is on his own. The owners of private school, they are business oriented.
Yeah.
In fact, you get to some private school, you will see maybe 4 or 5 students in a class. And that is the number of students they have in that class, nothing more. Where is the competition? The next thing you will see is that we want to do graduation, we are going to pay for this. All this paparazzi of a thing that they know that the business owners, these private school owners, they know that that is what you are in love with, especially women. Yeah. They want to snap pictures. My son is graduating, my girl would wear gown, which we don't do in public secondary school. Not because government has said we should not do it, but we are modest in a way that, okay, you have to buy graduation gown, you have to buy this. What we emphasize is your textbook. Those things that will assist you. Yes. Even though we still engage them in extracurricular activities, but it's not to take money out of their parents. It's not profit-oriented. It's a welfare program from the government to them, to take them away from the street and educate them. But these people, they are business-minded. They are profit-oriented. And that is why if the school uniform is not from UK, I know some schools now, their school uniform is imported from UK. Their textbook is from UK. And we run IGCSE and what have you. And it's still our teachers. In fact, maybe that will surprise you. Our own teachers in public school are the ones running lesson teachers for these students. Whether they go to British International or they go to the Grange or what have you, our own public secondary school teachers are the one that goes to their homes in the evening as lesson teachers for them at weekends. So if we don't have the quality, why are they still engaging them? It's the paparazzi they are running after, and I'm happy the economy is sending them back now.
So this is an opportunity for schools, public schools, to say, maybe application to enter into public school now should up the game. If it used to be 100 naira, it should now be 1,000 naira. So we need to begin to look at ways to extract funds.
So generating funds, even those who are seeking transfer into public secondary schools in Lagos, the accounting officer who is the principal of the school does not have right to collect a dime from them. You can't collect 1 naira from anybody in the name of seeking transfer to school. You direct them to the ministry to obtain the form in the ministry. It is the ministry that they paid the money to. In fact, the ministry will also give them the account number to pay the money to in the bank. So nothing concerns the school system with it. Obtain your form from the ministry, process your transfer there. If you are posted to our school, you are directed to receive you, nothing more, and will receive you without any question. Once the letter comes from the ministry that so person has met the criteria to be in that school, and we have deployed that person to the school, we cannot reject. So That is where the challenge lies in revenue generation.
Yeah.
The only thing we can do in that regard, in my own opinion, is to seek support. Seek support from people like you,
Yes.
your organization, and many others too, who are interested in assisting the school system. Oh, I've done 4 sets of chairs and table, and I want to donate this to the school. Fine, we accept. You have assisted some students to have a comfortable seat in the school.
Yes.
That's what you have just done. So I want to buy textbook, maybe English or mathematics textbook for 20 students. You have assisted because 20 students already in maths and English. Those are the areas we are talking about. But when it now comes to money, in fact, bigger project like we are carrying out renovation of the school, you want to paint this school plant, or you want to maybe give us e-library, for instance, now, we need to write to the government.
Mr. Okewo, let's talk about food bank. Is it possible to have, food, people bring in food, some sort of collaboration with the community to have food bank in schools?
I think it's possible.
Okay.
It's possible. Sustainability will depend on the resources available to the sponsors. If the sponsors have enough resources to continue it, I think it's okay. The first step that you should go through is what you have done, that is securing the permission from the government. So they are aware that you are into this, and this is your own way of supporting the government effort.
Thank you so very much for showing up. You really showed up, and I thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much.